This is a Nexus special, episode 18, Google I.O. 2013, on Wednesday, May 15th, 2013. And now, live, learn, and love. This Nexus special features Ryan Rampersad and Ian Buck.
Well, good morning and hello. Let's get this keynote started.
I think we are in the middle of one of the most pivotal moments. These are two pictures in the same location, but you look at the one on the right, a sea of phones capturing that moment. 900 million. We couldn't have gotten there without the help of a lot of you in the audience and people around the world, developers around the world. But we have to remember there are over 7 billion people on this planet. So we have a long way to go, and we think the journey is just getting started.
We recently launched a redesigned version of the Google Play Store. You know, in the run-through, we didn't put a picture of a more handsome man behind me up on the screen, but I guess that's fine. We set out to build a music service that didn't just give you access to a world of music, but also helped guide you through it. What if we gave you access to millions of tracks from our store, your personal library blended with ours? That's all access.
We talked about 900 million Androids, 48 billion app installs, a bunch of new tools and developer services that help you build awesome apps. This is a Samsung Galaxy S4 running Android 4.2 Jelly Bean with the same software experience that we ship on our Nexus devices. It's Google's take on Android. This version of the Samsung Galaxy S4 that works on both AT&T and T-Mobile with LTE support. It is bootloader unlocked. Will be on sale starting on June 26 on Google Play for $649.
We're going to give each and every one of you a brand new Pixel. I've been asked to say it's not ready till 2 p.m., so please don't leave in the middle of the keynote.
Today, I'm really excited to announce a new initiative, which will make it easy and affordable for schools to put Android tablets in the hands of all their kids.
We've already been doing this with Chromebooks. Chromebooks are really ideally suited for education because there's literally no setup, no administration. You open the device, you're good to go, and you have the power of web within you. We're going to switch now and talk about what we are doing on Google.
Today, we're introducing 41 new features across 3 major areas of Google+. First, a newly designed stream, a new Hangouts application, and a fundamentally new Photos experience. We have a point of view about software and technology, namely that it should get out of the way and allow people to do what they do best. That's live, learn, and love. Frankly, even Google's own services have been fragmented and confused at times. So we're introducing today a new application, Hangouts. Group video at no charge. Isn't that fantastic?
Now this is really hot. We just took it off the press this morning, and I've actually never tried hot wording in a room with so much ambient noise. Show me things to do in Santa Cruz.
Here are popular attractions in Santa Cruz.
Absolutely amazing. You know, we use tablets, phones, laptops, and, you know, even the Google Glass. All those things we're using. I'm tremendously excited about all the innovation that you're bringing to life. Technology should do the hard work so that people can get on with doing the things that make them the happiest in life.
So now that we've shown them this video of the keynote in 3.5 minutes, there's really no point in us talking about any of it, right?
Yeah, I'll see you at I.O. 2014.
Alrighty then. See you later.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
I'll edit that part out. So, how's it going?
Pretty good.
So, I heard you spent all morning literally watching this keynote.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, I spent a good part of the morning biking over here and then watching it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you even jumped into the well. I mean, you're doing a good
Yes,
job.
yes.
Your morning is fulfilled. So I got done with my midterm a little bit early. And by midterm, I mean final. You know how it is. It's hard to keep them straight. And so this was, of course, the Google I.O. 2013 keynote. There are multiple keynotes, right? But this is the big one.
But this is the main one, yep.
Yeah. So if they were going to do
on the
anything
first day.
cool, that would be today. So
Pretty much.
yeah.
So we're fairly confident that we've seen everything that's important that,
Right.
People
That's
who
important.
are actually listening are going to care about.
And we know nobody's listening. So.
Oh, of course not.
No.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi. Yeah. Man, self-awareness.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess we could talk about what we saw here today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In more than 3.5 minutes.
Do we want to talk about what we saw before today first?
Yeah, I guess we could do that. There's a few things that we saw today. So in the little preview video that you got there, preview audio, I guess.
Yeah.
You might have heard a really soft voice, really really soft, almost robotic like, almost like it was an alternative Google Now voice. Well, it's not. It's
Except that it wasn't female.
Well, right. So an alternative.
Right.
So like Microsoft, the Windows thing here, they come with Microsoft. They used to come with Microsoft Sam, but you could also download Microsoft Sarah.
Right.
Right. Well, so Larry Page was that soft voice you heard.
Microsoft Larry?
Yeah, Microsoft Larry. Or is that Microsoft Page?
Oh, no.
Oh no. How could you?
Well, no,
so-
Microsoft Page actually sounds like it could be a product
yeah,
from them.
I like that. Yeah. It's like Microsoft OneNote.
Yeah.
Microsoft Page.
There you go.
Yeah. Wow, that show turned out different. So yesterday, Larry on his Google Plus page essentially explained why he hasn't been talking very well lately. And apparently 14 years ago, which is a long time ago, just so you know, he had a cold, a very bad cold, and it paralyzed the left side of his vocal cords. And about 2 years ago, I guess, his right side of the vocal cords were paralyzed in some way, somehow, and that's why he's not talking very well these days.
Right.
So yesterday, this was he put this up here, and obviously it was coordinated with their PR because you wouldn't do that unless you were told to do it. So it's kind of like setting expectations, and it's kind of a thing to do when you suppose that people expect one of the CEOs or founders, I guess,
Sure,
to come and talk at I.O. So that, to me, yesterday, I assumed that Larry Page wouldn't be around and Sergey Brin would come jumping around on the stage instead. Well, so today, to surprise everyone, the guy who just yesterday said that he couldn't actually do a talk for more than 10 minutes without, dying, said, "Oh, hey, hi."
and then proceeded to take lots of questions that were very boring and we didn't care about.
Right, so essentially, Larry Page did about a 30-minute Q&A.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
Yeah, it was really long. But it was just really interesting that yesterday he goes on, he says all of this stuff about his vocal paralysis, and then today he vocalizes significantly.
Oh, and, of course, who was the first person who got in line to ask questions?
Robert Scoble, how could you? Now, you probably don't know him very well, but
Not very well. I know that he
literally
took a
everywhere.
picture in a shower with
Yes.
with his Google glasses.
Yes, he was the one who showered his glasses, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a big evangelist about Google Plus and pretty much for all technology. He works with startups a lot. He formerly works at Rackspace, which is a kind of cloud hosting kind of like thing.
Okay.
Rackspace also coincidentally hosts GitHub. Not that it matters, but to put into perspective. So yeah, Robert Scoble jumped in line.
Yep.
Yeah, he does that. So earlier today, we also got wind of the Maps UI that was leaked, or shown later.
How much earlier today was this leaked?
So this was about an hour or so, I think, right?
Before the keynote?
I think so. About an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
No, wait, that says 2:45 a.m.
That's more than 2 hours.
That's a few hours
well,
before.
Let me rephrase. I read it 2 hours.
Right.
I had to study for midterm. I mean, final. Bloody crap. It's the same thing, isn't it? So we'll talk more about Maps later.
Yep.
We're just saying that's leaked. Now,
and also, of course,
strangely,
we were expecting Android 4.3. Pretty much everybody was expecting 4.3. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't they come out with 4.3?
Our expectations were that 5 would come out months ago. We thought 5 would come out closer to now. We thought 4.3 would come out because 5 apparently wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
But today there was a leak about 4.3. So some kind of test suite on the Android source code website
right.
had strings referring to Android 4.3, but Turns out that was not announced.
Oh, you jumped the gun. I was going to lead him on and make it seem like there was a 4.2.
Well, I think they'll.
Oh, well.
I think they'll get it.
Fine.
It wasn't released today.
No. Otherwise, I would have it by now.
Not necessarily. Like when 4.2 came out, or 4.2.2 came out,
Sure.
It took multiple days for me to get it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not very fast. Very slow, actually.
I think by the time I actually got my Nexus 7, 4.2 was already out, so I didn't really have to wait for any major updates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, on to the actual keynote.
Yeah. So, the keynote was good.
I came in right about the time that they were talking about Google games on Android, and specifically they have added achievements and multiplayer support through Google+.
And so some of that is actually really quite fascinating, some of their multiplayer support.
Yeah. Of course, they couldn't get it to work on stage.
Nope.
Never works.
But in theory, it would work really well, and so that's great.
And so, like, this was one of the reasons that I wanted Steam to become a distributor for Android games, because then, I would have those games on Android as well, have the same achievements, have the same account, have, all of my friends can see what I'm playing, join my games. But it seems like Google has beaten them to that.
I mean, so I guess 2 years ago now is when Game Center came out with iOS 5 for iOS. And Game Center did the same kind of thing. They made turn-based games really easy to implement for multiplayer. So they provided APIs. They let you use their servers and let you do a lot of API hooks for that kind of setup. Now, I don't know. I think this goes beyond just simple turn-based games. You can actually do real-time, interesting, interactive games.
Yeah, they were trying to do, on stage, they were trying to get a racing game working.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it works when you have Wi-Fi that works.
Yeah, presumably.
It turns out when you don't have Wi-Fi, things are a little bit more tricky. Turns out. Yeah.
They also talked about a lot of new developer tools for Android developers, such as analytics.
These analytics look great.
Oh yeah, and I think previously you had to actually go to the separate Google Analytics page to see it. Now it's all in there in your Android development world.
It's Android Developer Center or something.
Yeah, yep. They now have support for alpha and beta rollouts.
So what are those? What is that?
So you can choose kind of like a percentage of your customer base to roll out an update to see if it works out there in the real world before actually releasing it. I think presumably the users will get to sign up for the beta or alpha, or say that they only want the stable build kind of thing. And I believe that all is integrated with Google Plus as well.
I wonder. Google Plus?
Yes, Google. No, they said Google Plus. I think in the keynote.
That's interesting. So I wonder where that setting would be. Like when you download an app, there's one of the little 3 dot things, and then allow alphas, allow betas, or something.
Yeah,
so we don't know. I haven't looked. Probably hasn't rolled out.
Well, no.
But in addition to that, they also have staged production rollouts. So after you've graduated from beta, you can also stage the overriding version to the previous version. So that could be really useful if you're making a backend web service for your app and you only have enough server capacity for 35% of your user base, and you're just rolling out gradually. So that's a really nice feature.
Now, you all heard this during the video, but the Samsung Galaxy S4 is going to be sold on Google Play, unlocked, and stock Android for only $649.
Only?
I love it how he paused for applause during the keynote, and nobody applauded. So,
what I think about this is, I wonder if Samsung is dictating the price here. They said, fine, here, you can sell this on your Play Store the way you want to, without our TouchWiz, without our name on it. But
presumably their name's still on it.
Yeah, but they're not saying Samsung anywhere in this presentation. But you have to sell it for this price because we want our money. As opposed to LG, where hey guys, make us win.
And I assume that they saw how well the Nexus 4 did, with its unlockedness and unlockedness,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And no contracts and everything, and said, hey, we want some of that action.
So then I guess the next question is, why didn't Google subsidize any of this?
money.
I mean, really though, because I mean, it almost seems pretty clear that the Nexus 4 is subsidized, at least in some part, somewhere. I mean, a phone as good as the Nexus 4 shouldn't cost $300. It should physically cost more, I suspect.
To a normal user, though, I mean, $300 is like, whoa, that's a
then what's
big
$649?
phone. Well, $649 is ridiculous.
Right. I mean, the S4 isn't that much better for development. The S4 is only marginally better. Well, maybe not marginally. Maybe only 30% better than a Nexus 4. It's not that much better
In terms of processing power,
Right.
or just okay.
Right. I mean, the screen is a little bit larger. The processor's a little bit faster. The screen itself isn't that much different. I mean, I don't know what the comparison is there, but I don't think an extra $300 is.
It still has that ugly physical button on the phone.
Nah. Well, actually, I don't mind having one physical home button, but just not that button.
Right.
Yeah, I'm picky.
I know that. It's ridiculous how picky you are sometimes.
Yeah, well, tell that to my plugins. What else does Google do?
Let's see. That.
So,
we've had really nice voice searching on, Android and iOS for quite a while now through Google Now.
Right, yeah. And by iOS, you mean like literally like a week old.
Well, yes, but you could do voice
You could do that. But Google Now is new.
Yes.
On new iOS anyway.
And we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But, now you can do really, really nice, like, hands-free voice searching from the Google, homepage on your desktop, laptop, those kinds of devices.
Rolled out already?
I'm not sure. You could go try it.
Google. Okay, Google.
No. Nothing. Okay.
I would say not.
Yeah. They showed, their presenter searching for things to do in the Sacramento area or something like Santa Cruz area.
Right.
And, finding out when, her events were, stuff like that, just through the Google, homepage. And it worked. There you go.
I think it's really interesting that they're putting this as a headlining feature. Like, it's something important that people will use.
And they have had, like, voice searching before, but you had to, like, click on the
little mic thing.
And I don't think that it did Google Now sorts of things where it would, like, go, here are some attractions in the Santa Cruz area.
No, just say that in Larry's voice.
I don't remember really what his voice sounded like.
You just did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's really quiet.
Yeah.
Really soft. Hi. So, about this though, how does this work? So it's just on the Google homepage, but what if you're just using Chrome? It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I really wish that they had brought, because I never go to the Google homepage ever. I just new tab, search my thing, and then enter.
Yeah. So do you think they'll bring out maybe an extension or?
That could be possible. I think voice search originally started out as an extension.
Okay.
Before they actually brought it to the
I would feel
homepage.
better with it as an extension rather than being baked into Chrome.
Because then we get into things like Chrome getting too big on its own. And,
it's already 40 minutes, which is absurd.
Yeah.
So one of the things, though, is like I would prefer it to not be listening for my OK Google literally always.
All the time.
I would prefer to be able to select and choose. So, like, I wouldn't want OK Glass to be an incognito. That would be weird. True. Did I just say OK Glass?
Yeah, I think you did.
I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean. So obviously,
how do you use your Google Glass in incognito mode? What does that mean?
You cover one eye and use the other.
Oh man,
I think that's the approved protocol. What was the other question I had with this? I don't know what it is, so I'll ignore it.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Presumably, it only works if you're like logged in, kind of thing.
Also, presumably, it only works in Chrome, which is cool. And unfortunate for people who don't have Chrome.
Like that Mozilla developer
that one
is there.
That one Mozilla developer. So during Larry, is that his name?
Yeah.
Larry Page's Q&A?
Microsoft Larry.
Microsoft Larry.
Yes.
Not Microsoft Page?
No.
Okay, well, during Larry Page's Q&A, one sad and depressed Firefox developer walked up to the microphone and asked some painful question that I ignored. I honestly
something about cross-platform stuff with other browsers,
and so Larry did the nice thing and said Mozilla should be innovative too, or something.
And they like them,
of course,
something.
allegedly.
Yeah. So we've been talking for a few weeks now about the possibility of Babel.
Yes,
which was
many weeks.
Going to be Google's unified
Savior.
chat system and everything all in one. never have to worry about whether you're on Google Talk or if you're on
a dock,
anywhere.
If you're on a phone, if you're on a tablet, if you're on a website in any browser, regardless, as long as you're on a Google service, you would get your chat.
And they've come out with something.
It's not called Babel.
It's not called Babel. It's called Hangouts with an S.
Now, it's very important to make that distinction.
Quite.
So what? It's the dog. It's yawning.
Oh, okay.
It does that.
It sounds like a woman going, never mind.
You again?
Nothing. I didn't say
Man, you're
anything.
always causing trouble.
I am trouble.
I know.
So Hangouts is not exactly Hangout.
No.
But it's related. So it supports group chat, very nicely. It's replacing Google Talk, and you can now, put pictures in there. You can do emoji, which I think you could do before, of course.
Which are disgusting.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Honestly, don't do it.
I liked his poop one.
You don't.
Sam kept putting poop into our chat.
Yeah, Sam. So we've been trying this out for the last few hours. And so initially it wasn't available anywhere, and then it was suddenly available on iOS, which is funny. It rolled out to iOS first.
Yeah.
And then it rolled out to Chrome, and then it rolled out to the Nexus 4, but
it's not compatible with the Nexus 7 or the Nexus 10.
Wait, are you
apparently.
telling me that the premier messaging service of Google, the one they just released, is not available for the tablets that Google made, but it's available for the stupid competitor iPad?
It's utterly ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
I'm pretty mad right now, and I hope that this is just a temporary thing that they fix.
I'm sure they're going to get those out as soon as they can.
In the Play Store, of course, it's labeled as Hangouts, parenthesis, replaces Google Talk.
Isn't that weird?
And Google Talk is nowhere to be found anymore in the Play Store. And so we've been trying this out with multiple different fake Android devices like the HP touchpad and that Froyo thingy.
So keep in mind the HP touchpad that we're talking about is my HP touchpad that has essentially CM9, which is ICS. And it's not supported there.
I think it's actually on Jelly Bean now. Because
it is
it's on
now,
4.1.
but either way, it didn't work.
So it thinks that it's on the latest version of the Google Talk, but it's not really, and it's weird.
So also, if you have a Froyo, or most likely if you have a Gingerbread, it probably won't work there either.
I'm not crying over that.
Well, but so a lot of people still have Gingerbread, and so that means they won't be able to have unified chat. So like Matt, for example, and so, actually even Sam, neither of which have...
Is Talk even on those?
Google Talk is on those as an app. You could just download, but if Hangouts is not available there, then that sucks.
Well, I think Google Talk will continue working.
Yes, it will.
Because I was able to get, your regular chats from the Hangouts.
Right.
However, the group chats won't work so well.
Right. And plus it doesn't look nice.
And yeah, even when I was on the desktop version, they have a version that you install as a Chrome app.
Yeah.
That then puts, these lovely little chat boxes all over your screen wherever you want them. Those don't get the group chats yet either. Those are only in the new Google Plus view.
Right. I don't know. We'll see if it works better later on.
Yeah.
Could be just a rough
So
rollout.
right now it's
staged
pretty,
rollout.
it's pretty
10%.
Kind of mixed feelings
Hit or
about
miss.
it. Yeah.
I mean, it hit on Android 4.2, but everywhere else kind of missed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things Sam asked us is, when will Gmail get integration? Because right now it's only available on 4.2 or 4.1 phones, so Jelly Bean phones. No tablets, obviously. But it is also available on the Google Plus page, where the old chat used to be, but it's not available in the new form on Gmail. So that is a good question. When will Gmail get it? When do you think?
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully, within the week, they'll get everything working.
Mm-hmm.
Before I.O. is over.
I doubt it'll happen before I.O. is over if things aren't working.
But...
Well, they're busy presenting.
Those are just the important people who don't do real work.
Wait, the important people are presenting?
Right, yeah, like Larry.
Oh, okay.
Who don't do real work anymore, because they did all their real work 14 years ago when Google was starting.
Look at me. I built a server.
Don't turn the toilet into a server.
Why not? Okay, well, moving along then, Google also introduced what they're hoping will be a Spotify and/or Pandora killer.
Yep, and Groove Shark, if you even care to mention that
No,
one.
that's not real.
No, okay.
That's less real. So what they're calling this is an extension of Google Music. It's called All Access.
Yep, so, previously and currently and in the future, you will be able to, buy individual tracks and albums and whatnot, just like normal.
Right.
Or you can also pay $9.99 a month, only $7.99 a month if you start the trial period before like July something or June something.
Yeah, I think it was June 30th.
Yeah. And that will give you access to all of the music that is on Google Music.
Right.
Which sounds like a pretty good deal if you're somebody like me who, buys new music at, pretty
regularly.
Regularly.
So essentially, if you buy a $10 album every month consistently, then this would save you money.
Yep.
So I guess you said one of the things you said is like, this is a really good deal for somebody like you who does that. And you said, well, so you said, well, $10 though, like you said $7.99, right?
Yes.
If you do it early, and you said $2 over the course of your lifetime. Well, and I presented the cold hard facts that in 10 years this will not be here.
Well, I mean, if enough people subscribe to it, then it'll be around for a while.
Nope.
Right.
Lifetime is irrelevant with web services, or any service, really, I think.
And then once it's gone, I won't have any of those things that I didn't bother buying. Oh, man.
Like, at some point, I would take it with a grain of salt, and I personally don't trust streaming services like that. Like, music is something you want to keep listening to over and over again. It's not like a movie where you tend to watch once or twice, maybe a third time if it's really extraordinary.
Yeah.
And you don't really care if you keep a local copy because you don't do it all the time. But music is different. It's something that you do over and over again.
I also just thought of something else. They're definitely not going to let me just download the songs that I have subscribed to that I have not bought.
Right.
Which means, like currently, I'm at home.
Right.
Where I don't have internet for streaming things. So I have to have the local files and just play them in Windows Media Player.
Now, it might do, so like, one of the things that was presented is a Pandora-like listing, so you give it a song that you like, and then it'll figure out songs that are similar that you might also like.
Google Music already does that
right,
with the stuff that's in your library.
But now it'll be a full stream, a full part of the catalog.
Yeah.
So it'll be more like Pandora, which is just like, oh, music everywhere. Unlike Pandora, you can edit the list and make new suggestions to take things out, and it's really nice.
And you can swipe it away.
So
swipe it away.
Their slogan for this is radio without rules, I believe, right?
Something like that. Yeah, and I mean, full control over what I'm listening to is very, very important to me, which is the reason that I don't use Pandora or any of that garbage.
Pandora is terrible for control. You just get a plus or a minus, thumbs up, thumbs down. Mm-hmm. This is much better because you can change the order, you can do everything. And because you're paying for it, there are no ads, and you can do as many skips or replays as you want.
And what I really want to know is, can I take any arbitrary, songs from the Google Play Store and just add them to the playlists that I have?
That'd be very interesting, yeah.
Because that's what I need.
Mm-hmm. Well, so one of the things I was going to mention, so just like that, one of the things that Spotify does is when you have a playlist that you've made,
mm-hmm.
even though it's a streaming service, it caches a certain number of that streaming list, even if you go out of service. So I wonder if Google Music All Access, Dealy Bob there, will also cache a certain number of songs for you. So yeah, that would be nice.
Are you talking about on the desktop version or the mobile version?
On the mobile version. So okay. Like, you have a playlist up called Bulk Bag, and so it caches the next 10 songs in Bulk Bag or whatever.
That makes sense.
That would be nice.
And I mean, like on my currently,
there's no reason it couldn't technically do that. It would just be a rights thing.
And since Google Music already doesn't let any other apps access those files, they probably wouldn't have any legal reason not to do that.
Well, not as many legal.
Right.
Right.
But I mean, like, in my library right now, you can choose which songs to have cached on your locally. And I just do that by playlist. So I have like 2 playlists that I listen to all the time. Right. So I just have those 2. Yeah.
Yeah. That would make a lot of sense, especially for somebody like you. I mean, you have access to your high-speed church, but
yeah,
it's not, you don't have access so much at home. So that would be really important.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's next?
Google Plus. Tons of updates to Google Plus. Huge. Not the mobile version, but the desktop version. They have a nice kind of tile view for the stream now.
If you're familiar with Google Now tiles.
Yes, or even just Google Plus on the mobile.
Oh, yeah, right.
It looks a lot like that.
Right.
So it's not just one kind of stream, it's multiple different columns. And
so if you know anything about design, it would be similar to the masonry design pattern.
There you go.
So it's a lot of different tiles interweaving with each other. So there's 3 columns traditionally, and each tile can be different heights, and so it tries to fill in the space with the next available tile.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it likes to take posts that have images and make those ones like
bigger,
really wide and, like 2 columns wide. And
I've even seen 3 column wide images. Wow. So yeah,
it better be a good image.
But incidentally, on the, what is this thing called? MacBook Air. There's only a 2 column view because the screen isn't wide enough.
Same with on my Chromebook.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I do half the screen on the MacBook Air, it's also it goes down to a 1 column view.
Well, that's good. I mean,
yeah,
responsive.
So it's pretty good like that.
Looks like on this screen, which is a fairly large screen. Actually, it's a pretty. Oh, there we go. 3 columns. Yep, that's good.
That makes sense. A 1600 wide screen should be able to hold 3 columns.
Oh, I like that. You posted a screenshot from your phone, which is really tall. Of course. So that one does not take up multiple
which makes
rows.
sense. So images that are taller than they are wide will be longer, and images that are wider than they are tall, like if you take a picture in landscape, it'll take up multiple columns instead. And
of course, right now my stream is taken up almost exclusively by the Google developers because they've been posting tons of stuff because of what we're talking about.
So some new things that they put into Google Plus is that whenever you post something with an image or just words, traditionally people didn't put hashtags in their posts because it's a lot of work.
It's really hard to think of a good hashtag for what you're saying.
Right. So what Google is doing now is that when you put in words, it will automatically select the words that it believes are hashtagable. Or if you put images, certain types of images, so I put up this Google Hangout screenshot, but it didn't put the word Hangout as as a tag.
Their example was
the Eiffel Tower.
A picture of an Eiffel Tower.
So famous landmarks, famous people, famous words,
stuff like that.
Important things, that'll get tagged up really well, but lesser things probably won't.
And of course, you can always remove the hashtags that you don't like that it puts up there.
Yeah.
Let's see. They also have revamped the photo viewing stuff. So the arrow buttons are no longer way off to the sides; they're underneath the image. And also when you upload photos, it will they've got what they call automatic awesomeness.
Oh, that sounds fancy.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And so it's just basically this all-in-one filter that, makes the photos look as good as they possibly can. I'm pretty sure that it's probably the exact same thing as the automatic touch-up thing in Picasa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think they're going to get rid of Picasa after this?
I kind of hope that they don't, because it's a really nice, just automatic uploading service for me.
But what's the difference between that and just having a much smaller non-UI, local UI based program?
Well, see, I do want to have a local copy of my images.
You'd still have a local copy.
Well, no. So what happens right now is I plug in my SD card to my computer. My computer automatically goes, that has tons of images in it. Let's import those with Picasa. And so I tell it which ones to import, delete all the rest of them,
Mm-hmm.
And then once those things have been, imported, it automatically uploads them. Wahoo! I have both versions. However, without Picasa, I would have to drag them from, my SD card onto my hard drive to have a local copy, and then upload those to Google Plus, which is a lot more work.
Oh yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, I don't know.
But, I mean, it would fit with Google's whole, no local... software.
I'm okay with local storage of photos and things, because you tend not to edit them once they're done with. Unlike docs and spreadsheets and presentations and things. Those things are editable in the long term. Pictures usually aren't. I just think that Picasa feels like an antiquated beast right now, just so you know.
Sure.
I mean, look at the UI. It doesn't look like Chrome at all. Look at the, the whole thing that Google's going towards, it doesn't fit in with the scheme. Is there a Picasa on the Chromebook? I don't believe that there is.
No, not really, no.
So that screams to me that it would go away.
Also, the problem with not having Picasa is, when I upload these photos and I do the touch-up stuff, my local files don't get the touch-up. It's only the ones that are on Google Plus that get those.
But, I mean, does that matter, though?
Yes, I want all of them to look great.
I mean, I don't know if I would care.
Whatever. They also brought up the fact that, when you're on vacation and you take 600-odd photos and you don't have time to go and look at which ones are good and which ones are bad,
right.
Google Plus can automatically figure out, which ones are terribly blurry and which ones have bad contrast, stuff like that, and it can just kind of make those not important anymore.
Well, and so what it'll also do is it will highlight the important ones. So if it has a picture of somebody you've tagged before, somebody that is in a lot of pictures frequently, like your family, it will surface those up before the ones that are of a tree or something.
Yep.
So
it can find landscapes, nice landscape shots, highlight those as well.
Yeah. I wonder what the criteria for that is. Like, if you take a picture with a lot of people, like, all the time, so like we both take a picture together literally every day for a week.
Every day, because we're best buds. And
right.
We're always together.
And we're always in the studio. How soon will it just consider you part of the family?
Well, it might also just go by your family circle, because that's one of the built-in circles in Google Plus.
Yeah, that's good.
Just saying. They already have the framework.
Good. Yeah.
Just a matter of implementing. They're also changing the way that you use space for your photos.
Very obtuse method of describing what's changed.
I mean, I do like the fact that they recognize that when I upload photos to the internet, I don't want them to be downsized willy-nilly to, I want them to be zoom-inable. I want them to be the nice 8 megapixel, 12 because if I upload something and it's downsized to 1024, like, you can't zoom in for any at all to see anything on those. So in order to facilitate that, they are increasing the amount of storage that you have available for photos to 15 gigabytes. And this is a little bit confusing because previously, you had 10 gigabytes of storage on Gmail, and then you have 5 gigabytes of storage for Drive and Photos. And so the Drive and the Photos shared the 5 gigabytes of space.
It just the way they wrote the post on I don't know what, a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
it was very confusing.
And so what I think is happening is I think the photos will no longer take up drive space, and they will have 15 gigs of their own.
So let me read to you what the official Google Drive.blogspot.com post says. So instead of having 10 gigabytes for Gmail and another 5 gigabytes for Drive and Google Plus Photos, you'll now get an unified storage for free to use as you like between Drive, Gmail, and Google Plus Photos. So 15 Now, to me, that sounds really confusing and really misleading because...
Okay. I really like that.
You like that better?
I like that better.
Okay, I'm going to put the link for this.
So that doesn't really change the amount of storage that you have in total, but it puts everything together into one storage pool. So like, my Gmail, I'm taking up 1 gig out of 10.
Right.
Whereas with my, photos, I can easily be taking up almost the whole 5 gigabytes and be like, I need more storage.
I like my things separate.
But equal?
No, not necessarily equal. I'm very mean like that.
I'm making I know. A terrible
I got it.
Jim Crow joke.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
You know me with my syncing of plugins and extensions in Chrome. I hate
the way that it doesn't do that.
I hate synchronization.
You're a madman.
So like the computer you're using, I never use that computer. right?
With good reason, probably.
That's essentially my co-host computer. So whenever there's a co-host here in the studio, they get to use that computer. Otherwise, I do use it in the other room with a long HDMI cable to watch anime. That's essentially the use of that computer.
Okay.
Likewise, I use this MacBook Air and I use this studio computer primarily. So I have Mighty Text, I have Pocket, I have LastPass installed in those. Those two things don't really need to be on that computer you're using there. Because otherwise, whenever I get a text message, you'll get a pop-up saying that Ryan just got a text message on the computer that you're watching anime on. Or
well, I would love that, because then I'd just be like, oh, click, reply with my keyboard instead of my phone keyboard.
Well, you would like that
I would love it.
To mess with my text messaging, but it's essentially useless, and there's no advantage for me to do all that syncing.
Which app was that again? Let me go get
Mighty
that.
Text.
Mighty Text, okay.
Yeah. It's really nice. So, it's similar to that with the storage thing. And so one of the problems I've had with Google Plus uploading, so when you take a picture with your phone or whatever device, Google Plus will automatically upload the picture. Well, and quite often I mess up taking a picture, or take, 2 or 3 of the same exact thing. It happens all the time, right?
Sure.
Well, it would be nice if those duplicates wouldn't count against me. If it would upload the small ones first, and then if I share it physically, like I manually share something or I select it, it would get the original big one and put that somewhere.
Yes.
Because I don't want all 600 pictures to be fancy, high res. I want only the 30 I pick or whatever I pick.
Right.
That would be my preference.
I mean, the ideal would be for the the bad ones to just go away completely.
I mean,
and I would just delete them.
But I don't trust that it knows what the bad ones are. I'd have to pick.
That's why
right.
I would go and pick them anyway.
Right. But if you don't, it has to do things in a space conservative way, I think, if space is going to be a primary concern.
The other reason that I really like this just straight up unification is because I have the 100 gigs of storage for free from buying a Chromebook. So now I have basically tons of storage.
Right.
Yay.
Tons. You could go get a Chromebook Pixel and get like a terabyte or something absurd.
And I wish that I had been at I.O. and I got a Chromebook Pixel, because that would be just
we didn't
fabulous.
talk about that yet.
Well, they talked about it in 3.5.
Oh, fine. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did.
Well, let's go along.
So jealous.
I'm not.
I know, because you're picky.
No. I just think that a Pixel really serves no purpose for what I do. You saw me here before the show started. I was coding for a couple minutes, just doing some quick changes to one of our utilities here, and on a Chromebook Pixel that would be impossible.
I don't really do the coding thing so much.
I'm a developer.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be.
Yeah, well, you can't do that on a Chromebook Pixel. You can test what you do up there.
All of the development that I have done so far has been in the dungeon on the Fedora boxes.
Which is just absurd to me. We'll talk about that later, but...
when it's only 2 minutes to walk from my room to there.
I understand, but your computer is so beautiful and fast and wonderful.
I know. I wish that I had that at my disposal all the time.
You do?
I know.
Okay, then.
But when we were trying to evolve tanks, we just couldn't do it on Windows.
Evolve tanks?
Yeah.
What?
Evolution and artificial intelligence class.
What do you mean? What
Robocode tanks.
You couldn't do that on Windows? What are you
Not really, no.
Why?
Because it was all built with the assumption that you had nice bash scripts.
Oh, well, see, I have a server. I've developed on Windows, but I have a server.
We have the dungeon.
So if you can afford a $1,600 computer, you can afford another $400 for a miniature server. Just saying. Okay.
Yeah.
What else is new?
New Google Maps interface on both desktop and mobile.
Well, we mentioned that there had been a Google Maps interface leak, and here it is.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, what's new?
So the map now takes up basically the entire window instead of, having that obnoxious
white
little
bar thing.
bar thing. Also, and then the search bar is just kind of inlaid in the map.
It's floating.
Yep. It will learn the things that you like, the places that you like to go over time. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think before you had to specifically save a map as a thing. So if you had a certain directions that you wanted to keep for later, you had to save that and name it and
yeah.
And it was you couldn't find it afterwards even if you did all of that, and it was just absurd. Let's see. I think, oh yes. So we've seen the whole 45-degree angle zooming in on Google Maps for quite a while now. But now you can just straight up take satellite imagery and just kind of rotate around. So they showed, I forget, it was some sort of cathedral that they were rotating around, and it was really, really smooth. Like, there's no possible way that they had photos from every single one of those angles. It was just kind of emulating that motion, but it looked really good.
Yeah, it was very impressive.
I love it how part of the URL for that is Hello World.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I don't really know what they were going for with that. Kind of makes me think that was just what they were calling it.
But yeah, this is new on the desktop version. It's new on the mobile version.
And there will be an iOS version eventually.
Yes.
They said in a few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if they're coordinating that with WWDC to say like, oh, look, we have Google Maps.
And just kind of steal Apple's show, or?
Well, I mean, like at WWDC, Apple could say, oh, look, and here's somebody using Apple Maps. Here's somebody using Google Maps. We support all sorts of maps.
Right. Because Apple's trying to make nice with that now, or?
Well, so Tim Cook apologized for making, Apple Maps not do so well, and so he even suggested to use other mapping services, and so they're trying to be as friendly as possible. So it's a possible thing to do.
They're also revamping the directions. So now, when you first search for a place, it will go, well, here's a couple of different methods of transportation. There's, you can drive there, or you can take a train there, and it'll tell you like how long it'll take for each one. Also, you can still, of course, select one of them over the others. And I was going somewhere with this, but I don't remember.
Well, so
Oh, yes. So I think the public transportation one is significantly improved.
Yes.
With, it'll kind of break down the trip, so like you have to take this train for so long, and then you have to walk for so long, and it'll show you like which versions of getting there take how much different time and distance for each leg of the trip, which it looked really snazzy. And this is a by invitation, so you can go to the URL that we have on the show notes and request an invitation.
And so who knows when those will be fulfilled, but presumably sometime.
Yes.
Staged rollout.
I mean, when I requested an invitation for Ingress, it took me like 2 or 3 weeks to get in. And
well, I'm sure this will probably be a little bit faster.
Hopefully, because this is a real product.
Right, this is a real product, and they probably can put more weight behind this. What else is new?
New. That means baby in some language.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. A funny story that my parents tell.
Interesting.
Yep. So there is a new Google Wallet API for buying goods on mobile devices more easily. The percentage, or the statistic that they gave us during the presentation was that it's so hard to buy things on a mobile device that 97% of people just give up.
Right. And so it is hard. So imagine signing up for Amazon for your first time ever.
Signing up on the tablet instead of signing up through, oh golly.
Can you imagine that? Or imagine just like going to Monoprice for the first time on a tablet, which would be absurd. And why would you do that? But the common case is that you have to enter your name and your last name and your address in a bunch of different form fields, and your credit card number and your CCV number and your card holder name and your real address, your billing address.
All sorts of things.
You have to enter like 20 fields, and that sucks. So then why not have a store, a little storage place in Android to handle that, and that's stored in Wallet. Isn't that
for funsies?
Well, for convenience. Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know how often I actually buy goods. I mean, usually when I'm shopping, I don't really do it on my mobile device. I just kind of don't do that. I don't know why I don't do that.
I have never purchased anything on my phone or on the tablet when I used it. Probably for 2 reasons. Because I only buy from Amazon.
Yeah.
And so
they do have an app, though.
I know, but normally when I'm on Amazon, I'm on my computer because I'm looking at reviews, and the mobile app sucks for looking at reviews because you have to hit 3 expanding levels, and it sucks. And typically I have to log in with LastPass because my password's absurd. Because even if I went through the app, it would remember me, but that would be dangerous. I don't want people to just buy things left and right when they use my phone.
Exactly.
So I feel like, I don't know, do you have to re-authenticate whenever you put this information in? That would be...
with the new API
Or, yeah, I guess so. Like,
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it's
like you're just
like
there
one click.
That seems iffy and risky to me. I don't know if it matters. I mean, potentially once somebody has your phone, you're screwed, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, this next one is really exciting.
Oh,
actually.
this is so much better.
Google Now tiles, including reminders, new music, new books, new video games, new TV shows, all that jazz. I was talking to you like literally last week, Ryan.
Literally last Saturday.
And I was like, man, I wish that Google Now would tell me
About
when
new music.
when my favorite artists are coming out with new stuff, because I never know. And I mean, it tells me when new movies are coming out, but it won't tell me when my favorite artists are coming out with new music.
Right.
And now it will.
So you showed me that day that you got a notification for Iron Man.
Yes.
And I had also gotten the same notification for Iron Man.
And I'm not sure exactly how it knows that we're the kind of person that would like Iron Man, but it knows. I mean, everybody likes Iron Man, right?
I feel like there's probably a good way it might know. It probably said, what movie made the most money literally today? Oh, Iron Man. Okay. Has this person gone to a movie theater or been by a movie theater regularly, lately, at all? If yes, then display. Because I had been to a movie theater the week before, and so had you. You had seen Iron Man, in fact.
Yes, but I don't know if it has... I think, the Morris Theater is listed on Google Maps, so it would know.
So that would make sense. And so I had been at the Roseville EMC 14 place. And so it probably knew that I'd seen a movie recently, and, it said you should go look at the Iron Man.
Right.
Right. And of course, it's a Blockbuster thing, it's...
And now that it knows, I think that I like movies, theoretically, it
likes movies.
Yeah, it's showing me things like, hey, you should go see Star Trek Into Darkness.
Right.
Which hasn't even come out yet.
Honestly, though, I think it'll probably say that for every major film that has hype and or,
Golly, I hope not.
I feel like it will. Because there's no way it knows enough about you yet about movies.
Right.
I mean, unless you've Googled for it.
I did notice that it didn't come up with Iron Man until after I had written my blog post about Iron Man and had Google image searched for a poster for that blog post for Iron Man. So that may have been why it showed me that. But
that doesn't make sense in my case because I had not searched for Iron Man.
Correct.
And it showed me the same tile it showed for you.
Yeah.
So I am led to believe that it just shows popular things if you've been to a movie theater recently.
Now, for music, books, and stuff like that, it can easily just look at your Google Play purchases and find similar artists.
Exactly. Similar books, similar TV shows, whatever.
However, video games, that's going to be a little bit different.
Now, does that mean literal video games, like for PS5, Xbox 780? Like real consoles, not this fake Android crap?
No, that's going to be real,
Real games?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Guild Wars 3.
The PC titles. And
cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I'm
I
glad
think
to hear it.
They showed it talking about Watch Dogs, I think.
Journey 3. It's a journey to journey.
What?
What? Hi.
What happened to number 2?
That hasn't come out yet.
Okay. I await with great anticipation.
You should, because it'll come out after Journey 4. So, what else came out with that Google Now tile? The reminders.
Yes, the reminders.
Now, I don't know about you, but I reminders kind of fits in with the realm of calendar. Like, you'd assume you could put an event on the calendar that wouldn't physically take up a bulk load of space, that it would just remind you when it happens, right?
Right.
Well, the calendar never had that support, which is absurd to me. Of course, they had tasks integrated into Gmail and sort of kind of integrated into calendar, but tasks would never remind you. It would just sit in a list and sit there.
And tasks never showed up on mobile.
No,
ever.
There was no mobile support.
It was so stupid.
Ever. There were third-party apps that you had to pay for that used a fake API to do it, and that sucks. So today, revolutionary feature, reminders.
Even though they did have through Google Now, you could set an alarm.
That's not a reminder.
It called them reminders, but it wasn't really a reminder.
Now, let me tell you how many times I used that alarm feature. Like, I would always say, okay, Google or whatever, set alarm for 15 minutes. And so 15 minutes, I would go check my pizza or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I would always use that whenever
Okay.
I was cooking a pizza. But this is not an alarm, so it keeps your alarm section clean, your alarm app or whatever. But it sets a reminder that goes into the abyss, I might add. Where do reminders go?
The settings, my stuff reminders.
The abyss. So it's not the settings app, which is what we thought.
Which is what we thought, yeah.
It's the settings, the 3-dot thing, and then my
In
stuff.
Google Now.
Right. In the Google Now app, which isn't really an app because it should be an OS level feature, but it's really the search app.
Exactly.
My gosh, is that convoluted. But the reminders thing is great. So you say, where's my phone? We should try it.
Well, no. It's actually, I think it's a good thing that Google Now is not an OS level thing because that way they can update the Google search app without having to make
but
you.
it feels like an OS level thing because why? If it isn't,
because I can swipe up from the bottom of the screen and it will take me that from any app.
But then if it isn't an OS level thing, why isn't it in an ice cream sandwich?
It is.
Google Now?
Yeah, isn't that it
Nope.
debuted with ice cream sandwich? No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Oh, you're right.
No mo. So what should I remind myself to do today?
Kill Ryan.
How about if I don't do that?
Oh,
Google.
Because that's what I did.
Google. Okay, Google. See, demos never work. Oh, no, it didn't. Hold on.
And now you have to make it stop because it heard you say, "Yay, it worked."
What it said is, okay, now Google never works. Demos never work. Remind me to publish this podcast at 7 a.m. And so it picked up, publish this podcast tomorrow at 7 a.m. And so then I just have to set this reminder.
Awesome.
And then so there it goes.
I'll probably start using this instead of the countdown timer in the clock app, which is what I always used for, when I put in my laundry or whatever, and
exactly.
I need to know when it was
I used
going
to
to
do
end.
the same thing, too. I had an app called Reminder.
Mm-hmm. Oh, golly.
I don't actually know. It just counted down. I have no idea what it's called. One of the things that was weird is about Reminders is that it doesn't have anything on the,
there's no tile. There's no card for it.
And you'd assume that there should be a reminder card that says you have a impending or repending or bulk pending reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Repelling reminder.
Sure.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Good features to put in. Maybe it'll get updated in 4.3 that'll not come out.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also made a big deal about education apps. So they are going to be kind of putting this new type of buying stuff into the Google Play Store so that they could, get 500 licenses for this app all at once.
So I was reading about it, and apparently they're going to launch a separate version of the Play Store for these apps. And so instead of just purchasing one for a single device, you can purchase a bulk set of licenses for a group of devices.
Which makes sense.
Which makes a lot of sense. And they plugged Chromebooks.
What doesn't make sense, though, is the concept of giving all of the children tablets still. Because, you give a child a tablet, they're not going to use it for educational purposes. They're going to use it to poke and drop on things.
I agree. When I was in second grade, I vividly remember this. So somehow...
You didn't remember tablets.
No. I vividly remember having 3 Macs, the candy-colored Macs.
Yep. I love those things.
The 3, were those iMacs or were those eMacs? I don't know.
I think those were eMacs.
Okay. So 3 candy-colored eMacs. There's one red one blue one, and one gray one, which is dumb.
Candy. Gray candy.
That doesn't sound like candy that you should eat.
Boring gray candy.
Stale. Well, I remember something some teacher did is they disabled the sound, and you couldn't use the little sound slider to turn it back on.
Right.
And so the games that we had were like math games, and the math character would tell you blah 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 plus blah blah blah, and there was no screen visual. You just had to type it in, and it's like,
that's terrible.
We can't do anything past this point, teacher. How do we turn this on? And they wouldn't tell us. And I feel like with tablets, you can do headphones and you can do things, and kids would, do their little math games or whatever with it just fine.
But how do you supervise that they're actually doing their math game and not going and messing around with some other game?
Right. So I guess there has to be things. Have you seen the commercial for, I don't know what they call it, but it's some kind of parental control for the Kindle Fire. So
sure.
The mother sets from the default 5 hours to the hour and a half that she wants her kids to be able to play games, and then when the time is up, it says, "Time's up, go play outside," or something. and so then the kid sees that his sister's outside playing with the dog, and he goes outside and plays with the dog.
Right, because, it works.
Right.
It works that way.
Personally, if that came up on my screen while I was playing the game that I spent the last 3 hours trying to beat, and
you would try to figure out a way around it.
and my boss battle was just interrupted by your stupid interrupt screen, I would literally throw my Kindle Fire against the wall and throw that wall against the next wall, and then figure out a way around it.
Would it land on top of the Nexus 7?
Yes!
That you already threw against the wall?
And that wall, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Awesome. And of course, yes, they were talking about Chromebooks in education.
They didn't say anything new about the Chromebooks in education.
Not really, no.
No.
But I mean, Chromebooks in education do make a heck of a lot of sense because they are nice, cheap laptops. And yeah, setup and maintenance on them is a heck of a lot easier than on any Windows laptop ever. And you know,
I think one of the best parts about it too is deployment is so just effortless.
Mm-hmm.
You just get a bunch of them, make students accounts, which is really easy. Normally people have like an Excel spreadsheet. It's easy to turn into an LDAP database, and it's easy to plug into Google Apps.
Yep.
And one problem with it though is without a reliable internet connection wherever it is, it's essentially rendered useless.
That's true.
So we were talking before the show about imagining our high school with Chromebooks. Can you imagine giving 2,100 people in one building, everyone with a Chromebook? Now, admittedly, not every single person in the building would be using it at the same time, but
it'd be pretty darn
imagine 90% of the building on Wi-Fi on their Chromebook continuously. It would drain the building's Wi-Fi alone, but not only that, the bandwidth out of the building and into the building.
Mm-hmm.
So without mass deployments of the next generation of internet connections to places like fiber, Google Fiber, or even just terrestrial fiber, Chromebooks and mass conglomeration would not be possible.
Yeah.
So how does that scale up? We don't know yet.
The future. It'll be here.
Well, we hope so.
Yep. They also introduced Google Knowledge Graph to Google searches. So that we've had the kind of knowledge base, whatever they call it, on the side, on the right-hand side.
The knowledge graph. That's
really, what it's called?
Really just what it's
okay.
called.
So they're adding on actual graphs to the knowledge graph.
Woohoo!
Yay! Unfortunately, I couldn't replicate what he was doing in the presentation. It was, kind of disappointing. But yeah, they showed a nice graph up at the top of a search with of India's population over time.
Now, I don't know if it's always done it this way.
Yeah,
his seemed a lot better.
His was a lot bigger, and actually, I think it was like interactive in some way.
And it showed you related data too.
Yep.
So,
Oh well. Oh, and then there was the highlight of the entire keynote.
So I won't do it, but if I can find a clip of the guy, I'll put it in the show notes someday.
Awesome.
It's so
this handsome man comes on stage.
And he's wearing all black,
black.
His pants are black. He has a black coat on, a black t-shirt, and he holds up his hand and says, "Remember."
And I knew immediately that he was going to seduce me.
And we both reacted the same way, or at least similarly, and it's just incredible.
Yeah.
You really have to watch the 3-hour presentation just for this one guy. Honestly.
And then stop before Larry gets on stage.
Yeah. Just as soon as you start hearing the Google Now alternative voice, just quit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there were a few things that were not in the main keynote, but are of note. So you can now send money to friends through Gmail.
It's very interesting.
It is very interesting. That is not something that I had thought would ever be a thing before.
Or would you ever do it though?
Maybe. I mean, well, see, the thing is, I've had friends where I have, bought them Minecraft online because they don't have a credit card or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And it would be nice to have a system where they could just pay me back easily, which is what this, sending money to friends is for.
Right.
However, if they already have Google Wallet, why the heck aren't they just buying it online anyway? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't really understand. And furthermore, if you wanted to send somebody money to buy something on Play, why not just send a gift card?
Right.
So I don't really understand.
Well, gift cards are physical things. We don't want to do
I know,
things.
But you can, an Amazon gift card is not only a physical thing. You can send it as a Amazon gift card email. I mean, it's a similar idea. I'm sure Play has it, not that I've done it, so I don't know. It just seems odd to have this. I wonder if this is something for... So one of the things, in Africa, there's a big thing where phones in Africa can their carriers there apparently allow you to buy a minute card, a cash card for your cell phone. And so if two people have the same phone number registered on their phone, the funds can be transferred over mass distances without like Western Union or some physical currency being teleported across distance. So as long as two people have the same number on their phones, which is how impossible, I don't know.
I don't even. Yeah.
But as long as you can do that, you can just buy a cash card, load your phone up, and then on the other end, get your cash put back on a card so that you can use it. And
Seems like a workaround, though.
Well, I'm sure it is. But so maybe this is like a similar solution to that. So instead of doing that, you can just transfer your money into. I don't understand the point of this. There's no rationalization.
I don't know. I mean, like, if we go out to pizza and you buy, then and I want to pay you back a little bit, but I don't have cash on me, I mean, then I can easily do that.
I mean, I know, but it seems so weird. I would never.
It's like further getting rid of all physical things in our world.
I mean, I guess that would work really well, except that money is now just sitting in wallet. It's not going anywhere, because unfortunately, when I want to go to Domino's next week...
Well, don't you use wallet for that?
I don't think you can.
Oh.
And I think that's part of the problem.
Oh, well.
That there's a dead end somewhere along the line of transferring. Yeah. Anyway, the other thing that we found that was not talked about but also came out was that Google TV was updated to the latest Android 4.2.2.
And it got the newest version of Chrome.
Right. Which is funny because I don't think anybody has a Google TV. They didn't talk about Google TV.
Yeah, but I mean, they're still doing stuff for it, so presumably it's still a thing.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And stuff that we were expecting that was
not
suspiciously absent. The new Nexus 7.
Mm-hmm. No new Nexus 7.
Nothing happened.
There had been a lot of rumors up to this point about a Nexus 7 with either a Snapdragon 600 with 2 gigs of memory or Snapdragon 800 with 2 gigs of memory and a new fancy pants high resolution screen. Did that come out? No.
Nope.
And so what do you think about that? What does that mean?
I think it kind of does make sense for Google to kind of ease off of the whole, like, coming out with new hardware all the time, coming out with new versions of Android all the time. What are you talking about? You just got your Nexus 4.
Yeah, I know, but Nexus 7.
Yeah, well, when did that come out?
Last Google I.O.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, see, I haven't had mine that long.
Well, I haven't either. I got mine in November or something.
Okay, there you go.
But the problem is the Nexus 7 came out with barely acceptable hardware when it came out. It was just great because it was so dirt cheap. That's why we liked it. And it was good enough because nobody had modern OS devices.
And it does run.
It runs
fairly well.
But not very well.
Fairly well.
Not very well.
Pretty well.
Fairly well is not very well.
It's fine.
Bulk bag. So the problem is that the new Nexus 7 would have alleviated the problems of the old Nexus 7. What I imagined is they would have kept a Nexus 7 16 gig model, just whatever, just at the base $200 price. And then the new ones would fill in the gaps up to $350 in $50 increments, with a 16 gigabyte model, Nexus 7 II, and then a double expanded, double storage size for $300, and then a 3G, 4G model for $350.
Right.
And so then that would have met the next $50 gap, because isn't the Nexus 10 $399?
I don't remember.
I feel like it might be. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It just that would have filled in price gaps that are present, and it would have made the next generation of Nexus products a lot better. The Nexus 7 is extraordinarily slow to switch apps between. It's extraordinarily slow to run multiple tabs of Chrome. We played a little racing game on it, but it is annoying.
The Nexus 10 starts at $400.
So $399. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then that would make perfect sense to me. The Nexus 7 caps out $50 below the next size tier up. It's pricing umbrellas.
Yes.
Something like that. And I'm not really disappointed because my expectations before the show were adjusted when I got that Larry Page vocal cord leak or release. My expectations were that this will be less about products and more about services. So, yeah.
Also, they obviously we already spoiled this. But
No,
they didn't.
spoilers.
They didn't announce Android 4.3.
But of course they leaked it, so it makes you wonder. So does that mean?
Well, no, because Valve had had
It's fake
references to their Source 2 engine, but that hasn't happened.
Right, exactly. So does that mean later in the summer, maybe in the fall? What does that mean?
I don't know. Let's see. Jelly Bean came out in November.
Which Jelly Bean?
The 4.2.
4.2 came out in November.
Yeah.
Yes, with the Nexus 4.
Right.
Yep. So does that mean we're going to wait until November again to get 4.3?
I wouldn't cry if we did.
Well, I mean, I don't specifically care.
I can't think of many other things that they could do with the operating system that would hugely improve on what we have right now.
I totally agree. But the only problem is I need new hardware.
You just got a Nexus 4.
Not the phone, the tablet.
Well, you don't care about tablets. You have a phone.
I would love to have a tablet that didn't suck.
But you would want to have a bigger one than a 7-inch.
No,
because 7 inches is too close to 4.7 inches.
Well, yeah, that is
really
true.
Make a difference.
That is very true. Well, fine. I'll go get a new Nexus 10 when that comes out.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not.
You mean the one from Vizio?
No,
it's gonna be great.
No, I like my Google stuff.
Well, but it's gonna be stock Android. So
now,
what if
exactly
the same.
What if Google partnered with Vizio?
Oh,
now we're talking a big V under your G.
Under my N Nexus, the Nexus V,
Nexus X.
Right.
Actually, whatever. What else didn't come out?
Google Plus did not come out with any APIs.
You totally wrote APK by the way.
Well, I wrote API and then I was like, wait a minute, did he say a K? Because I know that APK is a thing as well.
Oh, you see, you're developer?
Nope.
Yeah, well, so one of the problems is that, as we all know, that Facebook has an API. So if you have an application, you can write out to Facebook and say big week to all your friends and family. If you wanted to tweet all your followers on the Twitter, you could say big week and then all your followers would get your tweet. Unfortunately, there is no automated way to post to Google Plus because there's no write API. You can read from Google Plus, but you cannot write to Google Plus, and that is a big problem.
If we can read from Google Plus, why isn't there an RSS thing from Google Plus yet?
Well, right. So
there probably is.
I'm sure there is, and it's just it's limited at best and sucky at worst. And it's a very bad thing that they don't have this because I feel like Google Plus it's a great platform for writing stuff and pouring content into because the visualization is just so good.
Especially now that we have the tiles on the desktop.
And so without having an API to put stuff in there, I feel like they're missing out on a significant amount of content. I would love to be able to cross post to all my platforms, but I can't.
Well, but you do anyway.
By manually and
you hate it.
And I hate it and I rarely actually do it.
So they also didn't come out with anything resolutionary.
Nothing resolutionary.
No. And
what does resolutionary mean in this context?
Nothing.
Okay.
And they also, the Microsoft was also not present at Google I/O.
Wait, what?
What?
Hi. Hey.
How you doing?
Good. So
those are my 2 jokes for the day. Hey.
Yeah. No Microsoft?
No.
Darn. I think Microsoft put out an official statement that they were not going to attend this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Allegedly. So anything else? Do you what
I like that they are going forward with the the products of theirs that are already, multi-platform and everything. I don't really feel the need for new hardware at this point.
Man, the Nexus 7 needs to get updated.
Oh, shush. I love Bianca.
I understand, but you'd like Bianca 2 better.
Yes, but I don't have money for that. I promised myself that I wasn't going to be getting any new Android devices unless, I actually have enough money to get a phone.
Phone.
But I won't be getting any new Android devices until the Nexus 7 is not supported, that doesn't get new updates anymore.
Well, I mean...
Exactly.
So, the phone, the Nexus, what is this for? It costs $400 after tax, essentially.
Yep.
I pay $37, essentially, a month for service. $35 a month or something, whatever.
See, this is $37. That's the problem. Though.
Right. So, I'm saying, what the problem is, so in 10 months of paying that $37, you've paid for the phone.
Twice over. Even.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So 10 months is, a little bit less than a year. So that's why it's expensive, these phone things.
Exactly.
Yeah. But man, I just need the Nexus 7 update. That hardware is so pitiful now. Like, even if they just reuse the processor in this Nexus 4, in the Nexus 7, if they could just do that, that would alleviate all the pressure. Maybe add some memory, but that's not even necessary. The processor needs to get so much better.
But with the kind of people who have bought the Nexus 7, they are going to be perfectly happy with what it is.
Yes, my mom, who uses my Nexus 7 now, doesn't even notice a thing. Because she's using the phone that I had when I bought the Nexus 7. I thought the Nexus 7 was so fast compared to that phone.
Yeah.
Everything's relative, of course.
Yeah.
So that's why.
And I mean, for me, the most important thing is for a device is that the software is all up to date,
right,
and that it is all compatible with all of the things that I love.
Right. I feel like my Nexus 7 got significantly slower after 4.2.
But I didn't get mine until after 4.2, so.
Right. So you don't know. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well then, so what was your favorite part of the Keynote I.O. 2013?
Remember.
Real thing.
Real thing. Probably Google Plus, because
oh man, that stream.
I just kind of jumped onto Google Plus as soon as it was out. I was really mad that Savannah got invited to Google Plus before I did.
I don't remember when I got in, because I was never that important.
And then I mean, I like for a while there I just kind of abandoned Facebook.
Yes.
And absolutely hated it, because I was like, Google Plus is so amazing.
My snooze notification had expired, so I redid it.
And and so I eventually I came back to Facebook, because I needed to actually post things there so that people would know about my my podcast. And
yes.
But other than that, I don't really use Facebook for anything.
I do Facebook for the same reason that you do. So for advertising, of course. But one of the problems with Google Plus is that nobody from Facebook that I know is on Google Plus. Not that they're really well, but I mean, bulk load majority. So that's one of the problems with Google Plus.
Yeah.
Not enough people got there. And even if you are there, there's nothing to do. And not that there's anything to do on Facebook either, so I don't really know if that matters.
Yeah. I mean, I basically use Google Plus as a link share and
right.
Posting images.
It's funny. So I love posting images on Google Plus. That's primarily what I do with it. I love posting words on Twitter. That's primarily what I do with it. And I primarily don't use Facebook for anything except advertising occasionally.
Facebook is pretty useful as a very large contact sheet.
Right, but I don't even sync those contacts in anymore.
Well, no, you don't sync them in, but like when you try to text somebody and you realize that you don't actually have their phone number in your contacts, you go, oh, well, maybe I have it on Facebook or something.
I used to think about that, but I don't text anyone, so...
right.
I don't have any friends, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Good thing.
My favorite thing has to be Hangouts, of course, because I have been crying and desperately needing a unified chat for literally ages. Mm-hmm. And this is the first step in the right direction. It's not perfect, at least as of today, but that could just be rollout issues, and the lack of and synchronized updates, I guess. Hopefully that'll get ironed out.
It's pretty utterly ridiculous right now.
Yeah, well, see, you should be able to run it on your Nexus 7 and your Nexus 10.
Yeah.
Google devices should be supported by
I think it's you can only really be described as a Charlie Foxtrot.
I don't know if it's that bad.
I think it can.
I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's necessary.
I mean, the fact that I had gone and gotten the new version of the desktop one, and I wasn't getting anything from that group chat that we had going until they finally gave me the new Google Plus interface. It was ridiculous.
I don't think that's a big deal. I think what would have been worse is if they had rolled it out, but then the app had started crashing just randomly, or if nobody in general could download the app.
That would have been cute.
No, that would have been terribly frustrating. I think it could have been a worse rollout. I think this rollout was decent. Not great, but not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's
Google I/O.
Google I/O. If anything really, really important happens in the next 2 days, we'll probably talk about it on At the Nexus.
Yeah, so if anything exciting happens, I'll let you know.
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, there'll be a big banner message on At the Nexus this Friday for this show, covering all about I/O. Big banner.
It's going to mess up our whole layout.
No, not physical banner. It'll be a big banner that's small.
No, but in
audio form.
Yeah.
What else are you going to call it?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Definitely not the villain.
Oh no, there's an actual term for it. It's called a bumper.
What?
So before a video plays, like on YouTube, sometimes, like if it's a video being produced by a group,
okay,
they'll have like a 5-second, for this group, kind of thing.
Sure.
It's called a bumper.
Okay.
Okay, then. So let's see. How do we conclude these kind of things?
I think we tell them where they can find us on the internet.
It's almost like you know how to do this.
Right. So I'm Ian Buck. I'm on the Google Plus, obviously, and I have a blog, ianrbuck.blogspot.com.
And of course, you can find me, Ryan Rampersad, just about everywhere, but especially on the Twitter, not Google Plus. I'm never there.
Lots of cute dog pictures.
If you want to see pictures of my dog, you can go to the Google Plus and see pictures of my dog. But if you want to read what I write, you can go to the Twitter and find me at Ryan Amar on the Twitter. And of course, my blog.ryanrampersad.com. I never remember what that thing is.
Yes.
And of course...
There's a dash in there or something, I think.
No, there's no dash.
Oh, good.
No, there's no dash. And of course, you can find Ian Buck on the 8-Bit every Sunday or so. And of course, you can find me at the Nexus every Friday or so.
Have a good week, everybody.
Have a good one.